Testing. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Check. 1, 2. Testing. Testing. Check. 1, 2. Asparagus. Asparagus. Okay. Okay. Testing. Hello everybody, and welcome to Henry's Kitchen, where today we're going to be making how to make a waffle without a waffle iron. And I actually do have a waffle iron, but somewhere. Okay. But I'm going to teach you today how you can do it without having to have a waffle iron. We've got a lot of work to do today. There's a lot of steps in this recipe. I think it's 8 steps total, which is not insignificant. So, you know, roll up your sleeves, get your gloves out, whatever you need to do. But we're going to be doing a lot of cooking this morning, but we're going to be having some fun. I've got some games lined up, and well, my Henry's Kitchen game, and some songs. So think about some songs that you might want to hear while we're waiting for our waffle. One thing I'd like to get out of the way right away, and that's that one of our viewers, Sean Staggs, says that his wife, Caitlin, is having a birthday today, and so birthdays can be very dark and difficult times in people's lives, and Caitlin and Sean, I just want you to know that everybody here at Henry's Kitchen is thinking about you, and our thoughts and prayers go out to you during this time. So happy birthday, Caitlin, and I hope that you guys can make the most of it. Let's talk a little bit about waffles. First off, I'd like to thank a couple of the people that are subscribing. I'm not going to be doing it in real time, but I do want to say thank you to Gaming Jacob and Can Rum and Mr. Bitster, Cock Lavarino, Del Maximum, who raided the party. Thank you for that. 1976 Gibson Grabber Best Bass, Julita B. Sunsulu. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate all the support, and most of all, I'm just happy that I can teach you about cooking, because as much as it's one of those annoying things that we hate doing and it's not fun, and a lot of times it can be very taxing on our emotions.
Okay.
Thanks, D-Curions. And our mental well-being, it's something that we have to do. It's like eating your vegetables, you know. You have to do it, but hopefully you don't have to cook it. So let's talk a little bit about waffles. The word, and this is from Wikipedia.com, the word waffle first appears in the English language in 1725.
Okay.
It is directly derived from the Dutch word waffle, which itself derives from the Middle Dutch waffle. While the Middle Dutch waffle is first attested to at the end of the 13th century, it is preceded by the French waffleur in 1185, both from Frankish waffle, honeycomb, or cake. Waffles remained widely popular in Europe for the first half of the 19th century, despite the 1806 British Atlantic naval blockade that greatly inflated the price of sugar. This coincided with the commercial production of beet sugar in continental Europe, which in a matter of decades brought the price down to historical lows. Within the transitional period from cane to beet sugar, Florian Duscher formalized a recipe for the Brussels waffle, the predecessor to the American Brussels waffle, recording the recipe in 1842. Sorry, I'm almost done here. Stroopwafels. There's a lot of history about waffles, apparently. Stroopwafels rose to prominence in the Netherlands in the middle of the century. However, by the second half of the 1800s, inexpensive beet sugar became widely available. It starts to go into some other stuff, but I do know that there's always been a dispute about whether the French or the Dutch created the waffle, and there was a centuries-long war going on between the two of them. Maybe not a typical war, but a Cold War, which I believe is still going on till this day. So let's take a look at some of our, well, let's see if you have any questions here. Someone asked how you say it in French. I think it's waffle. Waffle. Hyde White says, I love waffles but can't make them as I don't have an iron. Thank you for this tutorial. Okay, yeah, you're going to be very happy by the end of this tutorial. You're going to have a waffle without a waffle iron. USB 1, hey Henry, is it true that the term blue waffle comes from waffles being covered with blueberry syrup? A blue waffle? I would imagine so. I'm not sure I'm familiar with that term. Gigasoy, how do they have a big enough fridge to keep the war cold? That I'm not sure. Oh, I see. Zodbane says, aren't waffles hot? Yeah, there's a little bit of confusion here. Cold War is a war that's very tense, but it's not actual people in the battlefield fighting. So I guess it would be a little bit like the silent treatment or the cold shoulder you might have heard of. Passive aggressive comes to mind. Sweet Cakes says, waffles are my favorite. I don't have a waffle iron. What would you suggest I use instead? Well, that's what we're doing. That's what this class is. Jesse has gifted 10 subs. Thanks, Jesse. No I Die Daddy says, my dear grandmother used to give me sugar. Her ashes hold a place of honor in my front yard flower pot. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started, and let's take a look at some of our ingredients here. What we have is 1 teaspoon of baking powder, which is here. 1.5 cups of milk, which I don't have milk, but I have some cream left over from when we made our stroganoff. So we're going to go ahead and use that. I think that you can water cream down, or it'll just be a little bit creamier. I'm not sure, but 2 eggs. I have 1 egg, so what I'm going to be doing, as a matter of emergency, I'm going to have to divide all the ingredients by 2 because I only have 1 egg left. So we're going to be making, but that's probably good because this is supposed to make 36 waffles, and I'm not going to eat that many waffles. So 2 cups, but you can store waffles. So we've got flour to taste, we've got butter, and we've got sugar to taste, and I think that's it. So we're going to use some tools. I've got another camera set up because I'm going to have to go over to the oven. So this is another view here. These are going to be our tools. We want 1 large bowl to mix our wet ingredients, 1 soft bowl to mix our dry ingredients. We've got our cups, our spoons, and a whisker. And again, I've said this before. These are not 100% accurate, but so we're going to be eyeballing it a little bit. But either way, we're going to be dividing all the ingredients. So there's going to be some math today, unfortunately, but we'll get through it. Okay, so let's go ahead and start out with our first. Let's see here if I'm missing anything. Doesn't look like it. Yeah. A lot of complaints about the math, and yeah, math is a part of cooking, but I use Alexa. So Alexa, what's 1/3 of a cup of flour?
1/3 cup of flour weighs about 1.5 ounces.
Yeah, so you've always got math that can be. Uh-oh. We seem to have a cat who's awakening right now, so let's go ahead and see what's happening there. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, the roast beef cam I was actually going to use for our stove here, so I'm having a little bit of a camera issue, but we're going to get through it. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. We're going to start with our dry ingredients here. I feel like this could be a little better focus, maybe. Not sure. Okay, so what we want to do is start combining our ingredients. We're going to take 2 cups of flour, but remember we're dividing everything by 2, so that'll just be, Alexa, what's half of 2 cups of flour?
1 cup.
Okay, so that worked out evenly, which is nice. Shit. Oh, God. Alright, so I put way too much in here. Okay, so I over poured. So I'm guessing that the amount that I had in here would make up what the deficit is on this cup. I'm hoping. But again, these things are not accurate anyway, so it really doesn't make a difference. Next up, we're going to add our, let's see, we're going to add sugar and baking powder. So for sugar, our recipe asks for 1/2 cup, but we're going to do, Alexa, what's half of a 1/2 cup? I think it's 1/4.
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, half of a hat is 1/4.
I almost put it in the sugar. I've got an identical sugar. Okay. Try to make sure that all of your ingredients in your kitchen don't look exactly the same. See, the problem is I can't get my hand into this thing. That's about all I have here. I'm just going to put the whole thing in there. It's about 1/4 of a cup. Okay, and our baking powder, we want 1 teaspoon. That's easy. Just grab this. Oh, but I got to divide it. Well, okay. Thanks, adjusting my threshold. Now let's go ahead and stir this up. I was listening to a podcast once, and they were talking about how if every American saved $1 a day, they would, by the end of 1 year, they'd have something like more than $300 or whatever. And it sounded weird to me, but I checked out the math, and the math worked out. And I was thinking, man, all these Americans just living paycheck to paycheck, and they could be saving so easily. It's really a problem. I'm going to see if anybody has any questions here. Somebody says, if I don't have sugar, can I use shingite? I'm not sure what that is, but as long as it's sweet, that's really the only thing you need to. I mean, you could put a sweet potato in there, I guess, theoretically. All right, Phantom gifted 5 subs to viewers. Thanks, Phantom. That's very nice of you. So let's go ahead and let's see if. Oh, we might have some roast beef activity. Okay. He seems to be going into this box. And I guess he's probably going to stay there. So not a lot of stuff going on with the roast beef situation. So maybe there's more excitement happening with our dish here. Alright, so we have our dry bowl, and this seems to be pretty well mixed. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to start working on our wet bowl. So we're going to add our milk, butter, eggs, and we're going to whisker it. So butter, okay. For the milk, again, we're using cream, and normally where we would want 1.5 cups of milk, we're going to do 3/4. I don't have to do that math. And if you're following along at home, if you have regular milk, then you can use regular milk. Okay, so we're going to add in our 1 egg. Gotten pretty good at doing that, fortunately. Okay, this is trash. Last thing that we're going to need to add in terms of wetness is our butter, of which we want 2 tablespoons of butter, but we're just going to be using 1 tablespoon of butter. I don't know if you guys know this about butter, but they always have on the side the thanks Forsen Mom 1276. They have measurements, so I'm going to take just 1 tablespoon. Normally I'd use some kind of a knife or something, but I'm just going to again, just kind of guesstimate. Let's put this butter back. We don't want it all melted. Regularly consume water. That's a cool title. Alright, so let's go ahead and start mixing this up. The butter was nice and soft, so that worked out. A lot of times if your butter's too hard, it'll stick to your whisker, and it even kind of did here a little bit. But you just want to stir it best you can. I mean, look, all any of us are doing is trying to do the best that we can on a daily basis. And it's not always going to work out great. But certainly we shouldn't be too hard on ourselves. I've had good days, and you guys even saw me about a week ago. I was really in a down spot. I had COVID. I was trying to make cloud eggs, and they didn't frickin' whip up, which really pissed me off because the recipe said it was going to be so easy that a child could do it. And it didn't happen for me, but that's all right. You get up the next morning, you plod your weary way to the kitchen, and you try to do it all over again. And I don't know, I'm feeling good today. I'm all done with my COVID, which is nice. And I'm feeling good, and it's Sunday brunch. We're going to have waffles. We're going to sing songs and play games and answer some questions. What do you got here? Bingo Handjob says, sometimes when reviews fail, I get suicidal. Yeah, don't go into that dark place. Hide White 2, I think I needed to use an extra whisk for cloud eggs. That could be. Yeah, I've seen those machines, and I even have one, but one of the whisks doesn't work. But okay, so I'd say for the most part we've got our wet ingredients stirred. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to pour the wet bowl into the dry bowl, and we're going to whisk some more. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of what you call executive privilege in this case, because I have two bowls. I have one that's got wet ingredients, one that's got dry ingredients. The recipe's telling me that I need to take the wet ingredients and pour them into my dry bowl. That's going to combine them. I don't see any reason why that wouldn't work, but I also don't see any reason, since I have a smaller dry bowl, why I couldn't just take the smaller bowl and put it into the bigger one. That's going to make it easier for me to stir. So sometimes when you read these ingredients, you want to add also your own common sense. So yeah, if I poured this in here, I would only have this much to work with. But I'm going to take all of our dry ingredients. Bingo Handjob, just subscribe. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and stir everything together, and this is going to become what we call the batter. And overall, I'm kind of feeling good about this. Codex of Die-Fed. Subscribed. Okay, I will tell you right away that this is too solid, so I'm going to put a little bit more of our cream in there. Again, we're doing stuff on the fly. Okay. You want it to be loose enough to pour. Cracker, just subscribe, thanks. Alright. So if you're just joining us right now, what we're doing is we're making waffles. We determined that waffles were claimed to have been invented by the French and the Dutch, and it's currently starting a war, or it's been a war that's been going on for centuries, but it's still going today, if I'm not mistaken. And also we had wet ingredients and we had dry ingredients. Extraterrestrials, thanks for joining us. We had our bowl of wet ingredients and dry ingredients, flour and sugar and shit, plus eggs and whatever, milk. And now we combined those two things and we're whipping them up into a batter. And we're getting flour all over the place, unfortunately, but that's very normal. Did I put salt? I don't remember if I put salt. Okay. Mormon Jeezy. Okay. All right. Well, whatever. We're done with our batter here. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to have to do a little bit of. By the way, I hope you have your coffee there with you. Gold Saucer Exec. I'm going to now be needing to set up this other camera. So bear with me here. This is a little bit of a technical challenge, but I think I'm up to it. Here we go. What the hell, man? Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, we got it. All right, cool. All right, here we go. This is going to be kind of cool. This is called a grill pan. It's not a waffle iron. It's a pan, but it's got ridges on it. But if all you have is a regular pan, you could certainly do it that way. So we're going to light this up to about maybe 7 is good. And we've got our batter here. So all we're going to be doing simply is that we're going to be taking our batter. Sorry, I'm reading at the same time. We're going to be pouring the batter on top of the grill pan, and we're going to let it sit for about 5 minutes. So here we go. You want to, generally speaking, you want to, boy, this really is not pouring. I probably should have put more stuff on there. You want to leave it on there until you see bubbles on the top. That's sort of the rule of thumb. Man. Okay, this is a pain in the ass. You might have to use whatever kind of tool that you have at your disposal. This is a spatula, which seems to be working fairly nicely. Sorry, hopefully you can hear me. I'm a little far away from the microphone here. So let's just kind of pat it down. And that's going to be our waffle. We want to try to take up as much real estate around the pan as possible. But there you basically have it. Okay, so again, we're going to leave that on there until such time as we see bubbles on the top, which will probably be about 5 minutes. And then that's when it's going to be time to flip it over. And you want to cover it as well. So I'm just taking literally another pan here and I'm covering it up. Okay, so we've got that going there. You can see I've got my camera covering that. NIMBY says, I think I beat my batter a little too hard and now it's solid like a rock. What should I do? Beat it less next time. Yeah, you don't want to beat it too hard. I would say, for whatever reason, my batter was very solid. So I think I could have either used more milk, or maybe it's the fact that I'm only using the one egg. But either way, I think we figured it out. Someone asked, Beelzebub asked if I did the painting of the flowers in the back. No, I was actually at a thrift shop, and I was trying to think of a nice backdrop that I could use for my kitchen shows, and that one looked very pretty to me, and I thought it might be something nice. So Joni Bonzoli says, "Hey Henry, could I use a clothes iron instead of a waffle iron?" Oh, you mean like a regular, this kind of iron? I mean, it's a surface and it gets hot. I don't really see any reason you wouldn't, except for I would definitely make sure that you slab that thing down with butter, because you don't want it sticking, and then you want it to be nice and clean for whenever you iron your clothes. I don't iron my clothes because I rarely socialize. 2J2, this looks like a pancake, but I'm sure it'll turn, yeah, it's very similar, but it's gonna definitely start taking a little bit more of a waffle situation. We've got 5 minutes. Maybe this is a good time, because I haven't done this in a while, oh, by the way, if you want to see what we're going to be making here, this is going to be the final product. We've got some fresh strawberries that we're going to put on there, and I don't know if I have spinach like they do, but I can look. And but that's what we're going to be doing. But maybe this would be a good time to go ahead and play a little bit of the Henry's Kitchen game, and then when we're done, we can flip our waffle. Henry's Kitchen game, made by my friend Mark Cohen. Basically what you do is you just try to avoid onions. Oh boy, there's a situation with the sound there. Sometimes when that happens, I flip it. This isn't exactly a professional game yet. It's still in the beta testing series, but okay, so I'm avoiding
delish,
avoiding
awesome,
onions,
nice,
and rats and insects and stuff. I'm trying to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Woo-hoo.
But in order to do so, I need my peanut
Nice.
butter, and also if the moderators don't mind
sandwich made,
putting this the link to the game out
Awesome.
there for everybody to have in case you
Delish.
want to play it at home. There's been some
Sandwich
pretty
made.
incredible high scores. But so I'm going around, I'm trying to get bread,
Awesome.
jelly, and
Woo-hoo.
peanut butter. And once I've got
Delish.
all three of those
Yeah.
things, that makes a sandwich. So you can see I've made one sandwich. I can't see the side of it.
Nice.
So normally I can, oh yeah, I can see jelly. I've got 5.
sandwich made, delish, woohoo, yeah, delish, delish, jelly, awesome, sandwich made, jelly,
So I've got,
great, yeah,
I got
Delish.
hit twice with the bad stuff.
delish, nice,
So I only get one more, but you get a free life after you've made 30 sandwiches.
sandwich made,
I'm not really doing very well on this particular game because I'm thinking about so much
Nice.
with my waffle. But I wanted to give you guys an idea
Yeah.
of what the game is, and
awesome,
it's free if you want to kill your time.
Sandwich made.
I have spent hours and hours
Woohoo.
doing this.
woohoo, delish, awesome, delish,
Okay, so you can see
Sandwich
I've got
made.
14 jelly, but I'm really low on peanut butter, so I'm going to
Sandwich
start
made.
trying to catch up on
Sandwich
peanut
made.
butter,
delish,
because that's the only way I'm making
peanut
these
butter
sandwiches.
made, peanut butter made,
I basically need a flood of peanut butter. I
Woohoo.
won't
Yeah. Sandwich made.
not get the bread if I don't have to, but I'm
Nice.
really more
Made.
on the hunt for peanut
Nice.
butter.
Sandwich
And
made.
it's going well. Okay,
Great.
so I might actually make it to the free life at 30.
Yeah. Awesome. Sandwich made. Nice. Awesome.
We at Henry's Kitchen
Bread.
Enterprises,
Delish.
which is
Great.
basically just me, are always trying to think of
Bread. Sandwich made.
ways to develop
Great.
gaming
Jelly.
technology
Peanut butter
that
made.
blows your
Sandwich
mind,
made.
and also
Nice. Peanut butter made.
that,
Awesome. Jelly. Peanut butter made.
that improves your life. Okay,
Sandwich
so
made. Nice. Sandwich
you know what? I'm smelling something burning, so I'm gonna stop playing at this point, which I kind of did anyway. But I'll put in my score. Oh, and all the scores are gone anyway. So, I think the scores are still there, but they're not working for me because I have to clear the cache or something like that. That's happened before. But anyway, that was a little bit of that. Crackswagon says, "Can I use aluminum foil to make my regular pan into a grill pan?" I would think so. That's a creative way to try it. Okay, so oh shit, this is burning. I might have left it on a little too long there. I've got a fan here. So okay, you want to make sure that the heat's a little bit lower than what I had it. But we want to flip this over. And it seems to be flipping pretty well. Oh boy. Alright, so yeah. First thing went wrong for the day. It looks like I put it I did it too warm. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put it on a very, very low heat. Oh jeez. Very low heat, and I'm going to try to salvage this thing. It's a little burned on the top, but we can shave that off. And I'm going to put it on low. Let's do a song. Maybe this is a good time to do a song. Does anybody have any music that they want to hear? Also, I'm going to open the door here. Oh. It's getting real smoky in here and I don't like it. I'm going to turn this off because it's starting to freak me out a little bit. Here, give me a second. I'm going to, just give me a couple minutes here. I'm going to show you one of my older Henry's Kitchen videos while I try to get some of the smoke out of the house. Hello everybody, and welcome to Henry's Kitchen, where today we're going to be making Henry's restaurant-style crab rangoon. Crab rangoon, otherwise known as crab rangoon a la Jack, or crab wonton cheese puffs a la Jack. Crab wonton cheese puffs rangoon a la Jack is most likely originated in San Francisco. But recent evidence is starting to show that it was brought to the Midwest by someone named Wayne Schmidt. We're going to start by dicing the green onions. When you're cutting green onions, you always want to make sure that you cut the cream cheese, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. I didn't have any at the grocery store, so I had to buy it off my neighbor. Add in the green onions. Some people like to add some crushed ginger to this, but I'm sort of a pussy when it comes to herbaceous flowering plants. Now we're just going to stir it all up. I remember when I was in high school, this girl that I had a crush on sent me a love letter and told me to meet her at the bleachers after school. So I went there to meet her. She wasn't there, but there were a bunch of guys there laughing at me, and they stuffed me into a trash can. I wonder what they did with her. Okay, so now I'm just going to grab our phyllo bread here. I've got a lightly greased cookie sheet. take one sheet and lay it across here, like so. Now I'm going to take another sheet so I can double up on the base. This one looks, it's kind of, actually, you know what, fuck it, we'll just use the one. Pour our cheese mixture into the middle. Add our imitation crab stick legs. Alright, now watch closely. I'm just going to very delicately pick up the two opposite corners here, like so. Join them at the top very carefully, so as not to break it. And then we're going to pick the other sides up, fold them in so it looks like a cherry blossom. Actually, you know what, let's just start again. So I'm going to take the opposite corners and I'm going to join them together. And then while I'm still holding them, I'm going to take the one side and fold it inward. So it looks like a beautiful blossoming flower. Hello, are you there? Testing. I gotta get better at this. Okay, so you guys can hear me. Okay, testing. All right, so I don't know what happened. I put it on 7, which maybe was a little too hot, so I probably should go with the 5 next time. And things got pretty damn smoky. I had to put my cat roast beef out on the balcony because I didn't want him to get smoke inhalation. I have smoke inhalation apparently, so I'm feeling a little lightheaded, but we're gonna be okay because what I'm doing is, if you ever cook too much on one side for something that you have to flip, if you flip it, just try to cook a proportional amount less on the other side, and they're both going to add up to the same amount of cookedness. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we got. Yeah, this is, I'm not going to let this get me down. But at least everything is safe at the moment. But let's go ahead and see what we have to work with here. I've got a waffle that's very cooked on the one side, but on the other side, okay, honestly, doesn't look that bad. Oh, jeez. Okay. There's going to be a lot of cleanup on this one, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and grab our strawberries. Let's see here. There's the fucking strawberries, man. Okay, here they are. Okay. I've got literally 3 strawberries, so I'm going to try to cut them up as best I can to make them look similar to what we have in our picture there. Strawberries are going to add a little bit of nice sweetness to what you're doing here, even though we did have sugar. Spread them around a little bit. Okay, and the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of our maple syrup. You can get fancy with the types of syrup. And by the way, we will do some music in a little bit. I was almost going to do it, but then started getting worried about causing a fire or something. You can use any kind of syrup that you like. I like good old traditional maple, but a lot of people like to get fancy with things like boysenberry or blueberry syrup or whatever, but Okay, so this is our waffle, and if you compare it to, so it doesn't necessarily look like the one they have, but hey, as long as we don't look at the other side here, which is pretty bad, I'm gonna let that cool down, and maybe this would be a good time to do a song. Sorry if it's a little smoky in here. So start thinking about requests. Check 1 2. Testing. Yesterday by the Beatles. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Wait. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Suddenly, I'm not half the man I used to be. There's some smoke that's hanging over me. Oh, yesterday came suddenly. Why she had to go, I don't know, she wouldn't say. I said something wrong, now I long for yesterday. Yesterday, love was such an easy game to play. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe in yesterday. That one took on kind of an extra meaning for me today. Tenacious D, no, I like Tenacious D, but I don't really know any of their songs, I don't think. So Alcoholic Gorilla wants me to play Wonderwall. I think I did that, a little bit of that, but today is gonna be the day that I turn it all back to you. By now, I'm gonna somehow realize what I'm gonna do. I don't believe in anybody feels the way I do about you now. 'Cause all the world is up and days are winding. Maybe you can sing the lyrics at home. And all the things and everything are binding. All the world is in. I'd like to say to you, but I don't know how. 'Cause maybe there's like so many parts. Let's see what other ones. Mr. Rager says Angel Thump. Don't know that one. Okay. Thanks, Twitch loves child labor. Let's see here. Jess, let's see. Brother Man Bill, I still got to go look at it. You know what we're going to do is I have a Discord, and I'm going to set up a special room in the Discord where you can just request songs the night before, and then that way I'll be able to take a look at them. And then, nobody's birthday. Maybe we could send this one out to Caitlin, who's struggling with a birthday situation right now. So, it's nobody's birthday. No need for candles on the cake. It's nobody's birthday. It was just a big mistake. It's nobody's birthday. No need to uncork the wine. 'Cause it's nobody's birthday but mine. See what other ones there are here. Respect by Aretha Franklin. That was Miss Butterworth. I'll try. What you want, baby? I can. No, that's not a. I don't think that's a song for me. It sounds weird. I'm really better at the sad, kind of more crooning types of songs. Let's see here. Somebody said, "Can I play Eruption?" I think so. I just need a pick, but we can do the acoustic version here. There's that, and then let's see. What do we'll Ravel's Pavan. Thanks, Russell. I'm gonna have to learn that one, but that's beautiful. There's two. There's Ravel's Pavan for a dead infant and one for a dead princess, and they're both very good. Rammstein. CCR is a great request. Maybe I could try to get that for next time. All right, I'm going to do one more song here, and then we're going to move on to eating our waffle. This is a song that was big in the 80s, which was the time that I grew up, and I always thought it'd be interesting to sing it from the perspective of a male, because it's originally written by a female, or for a female, but just when I saw her standing there, I tried to speak but didn't dare. Something inside whispered to me, boy, you gotta do this carefully. That's when she started to walk away, and that was all she needed to say. That's when I knew I wanted her to, but I'd have to do some breaking through, 'cause she's so shy. She's so shy. That sweet little girl who caught my eye. That's sort of a dance number. Okay, well, I think it's time for us to go ahead and dig into our brunch here. I hope you guys had a good brunch today. I've certainly, we've had our challenges here with the meal, but I will say that it seems to have been salvaged. What I need now is a fork. So I'm going to get a fork here. And again, this is what we were aiming for. And I'm not going to say this is terrible. As a matter of fact, this part looks pretty awesome. That bite came dangerously close to the burned part, but I don't know, in a weird way, I feel like I might have invented something here, because a lot of times amazing dishes are made because of mistakes in the kitchen. A lot of people don't know. Hey, thanks, Codex of Die Fed. It's a cool name. It sounds like Conan the Barbarian or something. But okay. So a lot of people don't know about a dish called the tarte tatin, which accidentally was made because a couple of nuns in a nunnery were trying to make apple pie, and they dropped it on the floor or something and picked it up, put it upside down, put it in the oven for way too long, and it burned. And the people in the tavern or wherever they were serving, I guess it would have been a nunnery that had like a restaurant, and they loved it, and it turned out to be called the tarte tatin, and it's one of the most expensive dishes you can get to this day. So I don't know, maybe I invented something here, but I want to show you that when I dig into this, I'm going to be just trying to get the top, because what we did was we cooked through, so we definitely burned this side of it, there's no doubt about it, but this part actually got cooked because of how hot the heat was. Asia K80 8000, thanks for joining us and subscribing. So I'm just going to take the top, because you really don't want that burned part. It's going to flavor your whole bite. But if you can avoid that, you know what? You have not such a bad brunch here. A little coffee will take that little burned edge part off. See if anybody has any questions here. I'm trying to drag it to the bottom so it gets into real time. What's my favorite cake? I think this might be. Tough day in the kitchen. This wasn't as bad as some of the ones that we've had in the past. What am I going to name my new creation? I don't know. I certainly wouldn't necessarily call this a traditional waffle. Maybe we could call it something like the Waffleette, or maybe it could be something that, maybe waffle brulee. Waffle brulee, I like that. I'm not sure what brulee means. Alexa, what does brulee mean?
Here's something I found on the web. According to cooksinfo.com, brulee means burnt.
Burnt, okay, so we could call it the waffle brulee. I like that. It sounds very French. Singer Vampire says, how did I become so good at cooking? And it's hard for me to answer that question without sounding immodest, but 10 years ago I was very depressed, and thanks Lord Dick on Man Woody. I was very depressed. I was drinking a lot, probably more than I should have been, and I still am, and but I was also depressed from a breakup, and I was broke, and I still am, but I was having a hard time, and I still am. But 10 years ago, I went on YouTube and saw this girl teaching how to make asparagus, and just my life changed overnight. I was like, I need to do this. This is what I need to do. I not just to make asparagus, but I need to teach people how to make food. And I started doing it, and it felt better. And I'll be honest with you, Singer Vampire, the first 3 years of it, I really didn't know what I was doing. But I've been doing it 11 years now, and I feel like I finally found something that I could do. I was never good at sports or math or school or anything except for playing guitar, I guess, but that was just sort of a fluke. But and you can't make money doing that. But suddenly the kitchen called to me, and then I realized that my job was going to be that I was going to be a kitchen explainer. So I appreciate that, Singer Vampire. So Hoi Polloi asks, should I throw my waffle iron away now? No. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say this probably would have worked out better if we had used the waffle iron. I'm sorry to say. Hey, while I have your attention here, I would like to say some thank yous. When I started doing Twitch a couple of months ago, Thanks, Steel Horse. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and so many people came out and just offered to help, and they have been helping to moderate and also give me technical advice. Bumblevision told me how to cook the waffle without a waffle iron, and I think he did a great job with that. So for the moderators, I want to thank Dingo Bop, Fawcan, Dom Beef, Hottest Bear, Do Dingle, Doc Goggy, Dr. Flanges, and other people that have helped here and there: Bacchus, Daisy Blossom, Melon95, Pilskman. Always like to thank Nim, who gave me a spot on his stream about 6 months ago and introduced me to the whole platform and to the audience. And also Bumblevision, LGX, and Sir Doom, who've been wonderful about technical help. And my old buddy Bill Larkin Music, that's his channel, and he's just one of the best music improvisers that I've ever known. And he was doing Twitch, and he was very helpful in letting me know certain things. So if you have a chance to check out Bill Larkin Music, that would be great. And people that I don't know that have helped a lot are Forsen and Moon Moon, who are streamers with a lot of views, who have sent a lot of people to the Henry's Kitchen channel, and I appreciate that. And Shane Yes, who I want to thank everybody for making clips of this, and Shane Yes actually has been putting them on Reddit, and they've had, I think one of them's got like 100,000 views or something like that. But so anyway, I think it's important to be appreciative, and I'm hoping that at some point my Twitch experience gets such that I can help other people as well. Thanks, Codex of DieFed. Upcoming Marvel movie. No. Okay, so anyway, there you have it. This is the waffle brulee. Sure, we didn't make a waffle that looks traditional, but we invented our own thing, and I think that's important. I'm gonna have another awesome bite of this, and I'm gonna, somehow or another, it's still coming off tasting burned. Maybe that's because of the top, but just gonna, yeah. So I think that the top part picked up some of that burned thing that was happening on the bottom, so I don't know. I might not eat this whole thing, but you can tell how it would be delicious if it was just a little less cooked. So, but I always tell people, and this is a very serious note here, you have to eat the food you cook in the kitchen. Not only do you not want to waste food, especially if you're cooking meat, because that means animals died so that you could make your dinner, and you don't want to waste it. You want that animal to be like, hey, at least I went to feeding somebody and giving them nutrients. That gets into a whole weird thing, but what I'm saying is that you have to eat the food that you cook, or else who else is going to do it? I think that's a good place to close. So, as always, thanks everybody. I hope you had a great Sunday, or I hope you're having a good Sunday, depending on where in the world you are. And just want to thank everybody for joining us. And again, if you have song recommendations, the Discord will probably be the place that will do that. And then I'll try to learn them for the next day, because it's always important to do something while you're waiting for shit to cook. Okay, everybody, enjoy your Sunday and enjoy your week. Thank you.